All right, Clint from the doorway too, hanging out with the guys from Shores of Null. It's David and Mateo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right,
correct.
awesome. So thank you for doing this. I know we're talking about 7 or 8 hours of difference in time, but I appreciate you guys doing this very much. Uh, the first question I kind of want to ask, and I'm sure you're probably getting tired of getting it asked all the time, is was the new record, uh, the Beyond the Shores, was it always designed as a 38-minute song, or did you kind of realize it just kind of melded to that way? Because it feels like it's pieces of a song put together into like a kind of a story. So I was just kind of wondering if you guys could kind of give me a little bit of, was it always 38 minutes of music and lyrics?
You want to answer that, Matteo?
Yeah, go on, go on.
Okay. Well, first of all, before recording this song, we entered the studio to record, let's call it a proper album, like with a regular album with proper tracks, like normal bands usually do. So we entered the studio for this other album. So and we recorded the drums and the bass. And after that, we had quite a few weeks or months before recording the guitars. And during this time, Gabriele and Raffaele, they are the two guitarists, came up with this new song because we were kind of in a dark mood in that period. We didn't know if the album was going to come out with Candlelight Spine Farm, or we had to search for a new label because the relationship weren't going that well. It was a very uncertain time. So we decided to write this new song, and when the composition progressed, we realized the two guitarists, Gabriele and Raffaele, realized that it was going to be an unusual song for us. So the first riffs were very slow, and it started to come out very, very long. So adding riff after riff, we realized, okay, this is going to be, we can't make it to this album. We have to make another album for that, an EP or whatever. But then it was almost 40 minutes long. So we decided to, when we entered the studio again, before starting tracking the guitars, we decided, okay, let's do the drum part again for this new song, and then let's add the bass. So when we did guitars and vocals, we did that for both of the albums. But considering the period we're living and the inability of doing live shows, we decided to give priority to this particular album, because no matter what, I mean, if we cannot play live regularly, it's not a big deal, you know. Of course, we want to play it live if there's a chance, like bringing it live in its entirety. But right now, it was the smartest choice to have an album like that, probably. Okay. And the idea of connecting this song to the theme that we chose, that is the 5 stages of grief, was because me and Gabriele were having a conversation about, okay, we have this long song, what are we gonna do with that? I had already written the lyrics for the other album, so I was pretty drained. I had no ideas. And he said, hey, I just read this book about the 5 stages of grief by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who's a psychiatrist. And this was a groundbreaking book, came out in 1969 for the treatment of dying patients, terminally ill patients. So, I mean, we felt the idea of connecting the album to this concept was really, considering the length and the type of music that we were creating, was really, really cool to have this connection. And so it was nice because as long as, while the composition progressed, all the theme influenced the song, also the riffs. Okay, we should write this riff for the depression part, for the acceptance part, So it's all connected, lyrics and music and all the theme.
Sure. Matteo, you got anything for me on that as well?
No, yeah. As Davide said, there were also promotional reasons because, again, the relationship with our former label wasn't great at the moment. It was really hard to talk with them. And the promotion of the previous album, Black Drapes for Tomorrow, was after it came out after Candlelight was bought by Spinefarm. And in this transition, we were really left behind in terms of promotion of the album. So we thought, okay, now we have this new album ready, but what are we gonna do with it? It's gonna end up like the previous one. So we said, okay, let's try experiment, and maybe we put out this album first, and then we save the real album, let's say, and, with the regular tracks for when we are somewhere else. But in the end, you cannot write something bad on purpose. Of course, you're gonna write something that you like. So we liked this album a lot, and we found the way anyway to find the new label, SpikeRot Records, which actually is the label of Davide here. So,
Gotcha.
So everything went for the better in the end.
Nice.
Yeah, it's also an experiment for me because I've been running this label, SpikeRot Records, for a couple of years now, and with two partners. So it's really a challenge to be on both sides, but we are, of course, we have the control over the promotion because I am the band and the label, and we talk literally every day. Of course we have a relationship. We're a relationship with the other guys. We talk daily about what to do, Facebook ads. Okay, let's do this. Let's try that. And so it's really, actually, we're having a bigger reaction now than when we were on Candlelight Spinefarm with the previous record.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Candlelight didn't do a good job on the first album, because it was really amazing for us to be on such a big label. We were all fans of the first band they've released, Opeth, Enslaved, Emperor. It was really a dream come true for us. And for the first album, I think they gave us the necessary push to be out there and not being considered like one of the thousands underground bands. I mean, we started at a level that was already good enough for an underground band like us. It was unbelievable for us to be on that label. But then, the relationship wasn't as expected, and probably the label could have done more for the second album, and which didn't. So now we're picking up all the good things that we had in terms of promotion with Candlelight for the first album.
Awesome. Yeah, you're not the first person to tell me that once Spinefarm took over Candlelight, a lot of things changed. I have friends in other labels from other bands and that worked with Candlelight, and they said once that happened, a lot of things changed. So you're just one of the many that are telling me a very similar story. Unfortunately,
Clint, it's Spinefarm is owned by Universal, so it was like being on a major, but not with the commodities that
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense.
that you should have being on a major. We were, as Matteo said, we were being left behind on many things. We planned, a video release, and this video came out 6 months later. Wow. And that's just one of the things. I just want to talk about positive things from now on.
Absolutely. So I want to talk about the last record, Black Drapes, versus the new one. And Beyond the Shores, to me, I'm an old school Death Doom guy. Okay, like that's where I come from. That's my love. I had a band put out 3 records. Does that style? I still have a band that does that kind of style. And you kind of like nailed that old avant-garde meets like Peaceville kind of vibe for me. Like it's it's kind of like the best way I can explain it is like early My Dying Bride meets Paradise Lost with some like Amorphous and Catatonia thrown in. And then I don't know if you guys know a band called November's Doom, but Paul and I are pretty good friends. He's a singer of that.
We opened a show for them in Italy.
Nice.
Actually, I sent a message to Paul when the album came out. I said, you should listen to this. Let me know what you think.
He should, because you have a very November's Doom vibe on this new record, which is very impressive. I love the mix of pianos and violins, male and female vocal. I just love how expansive it is. It goes from really dark to somber. But the previous record, Black Drapes, I kind of wanted to ask you because I hear a sound in it, and I don't know if I'm sorry for profanity. I don't know if I'm fucking crazy or not, but it's like an earworm in my ear. But like, you have to be influenced by Alice in Chains, because like there is such an Alice in Chains vocal influence and guitar influence on the last record that I just want to make sure that I'm not crazy. Could you talk a little bit about like adding more of them? Because the last record kind of has more of that heavy melody. And I really do hear like an Alice in Chains kind of vibe in there, mixed with the doom and the death metal. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Have you listened to the first record, Quiescence?
I have never heard the first album,
because the Alice in Chains comparison started to come out with that album.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't. It's never been something we did on purpose. Like mixing this harmonization with doom, death, and black metal, just came out that way. And of course, I like Alice in Chains very much, but I don't consider them to be an influence in Shores of No. But I have a background. I used to play. I'm still in a band, although we are kind of on a hiatus right now, called Zippo, and we play stoner rock with some progressive rock elements, and vocally they are more melodic, and probably in that band Alice in Chains influence is more prominent. It's maybe that I took some of my earlier influences and brought them into Shores of No, but it's not something that has been done on purpose, and especially musically. The musical part isn't influenced by Alice in Chains, I guess, but vocal part, of course, I like to do lots of harmonizations, and I come also from a rock background, so I think that that is the reason. And we've been told many times about this, so we started taking it into consideration, and we performed a few acoustic shows when the first album came out, and we played down in a hole.
Nice.
Yeah, there are no videos about that, but yeah, we said, okay, people say that we are influenced by Alice in Chains, so let's try to make a cover.
Yeah, at the beginning, we when the first review said, "Oh, there are some strange Alice in Chains influences," we laughed about it. Like we weren't thinking we were thinking of bands that you mentioned, like My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost, Anathema, all these kind of bands that founded the 90s doom death sound.
Yeah.
All of those, but never Alice in Chains. But after that review, a lot of other review mentioned that. So there's and you mentioned that today, so there's probably some truth in it, I guess.
So
there should be.
Alice in Chains is, to me, is one of the doomiest rock bands there are, just from the way their tonality is. So it works really well, and it's hauntingly creepy at times how Lane Stanley-esque the vocals become. I just want to let you know that, like, it's a beautiful thing, man. Like,
no,
those,
I think this makes this make us stand out from the crowd because in this genre. Normally, there are bands that only growl or only scream. I cannot seem to find bands that are similar to us on the vocal aspect. Of course, there are tons of bands that are similar to us, but the way we use the vocals. You can tell it's not just from a metal perspective.
Sure,
that's sure. That's for sure.
Awesome. Another band that really I feel like is a kindred spirit to you, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about this, and this is absolutely in the death doom kind of style, is you remind me very much of early Saturnus. And the reason why is because you have this melancholy Gothic overtone that they seem to kind of, I don't know, perfect at a certain point in time. And the bass especially, like it reminds me of early Saturnus, just because it's something that is like, the great thing about Saturnus was you could always hear everything the bass player did. A lot of times in Doom, it's a low rumble, and I love that you can hear each and every instrument. So I just wanted to see if Saturnus was an influence at all to you guys, because like they're one of my favorites, and vocally and musically, I feel a kinship to that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Especially in this last album, more than the other two. As you probably heard in Black Drapes for Tomorrow, but also Quiescence, they are kind of similar in style.
Yep.
Those are maybe a little bit more fast-paced. Yeah. There are other influences. This is much doomier.
Yeah.
Very slow-paced, very long chords going on in different parts of the song. So that reminds me a lot of Saturnus, and Saturnus is a band that we like a lot. We like them even more after we tour with them because they are such nice guys.
Yeah.
They are great, and we are in very nice relationship with them. And Thomas also was one of the first artists that we thought, it would be cool having this sound for this album, to have him on our side for some vocals. So yeah, definitely Saturnus, we all like them pretty much, and they are big influence for this album for sure.
Yeah, I would like to add something about Saturnus. I remember my university year. I'm not from Rome. I live 2 hours east of Rome. Okay. But I spent my first university years in Rome, and I remember exactly when Veronica Decides to Die by Saturnus came out, and it was on heavy rotation. It's literally been one of my favorite Doom albums for a long period of time. So having the chance also to play with them when we with the first album out was really great for me, for my younger self, and then when you're younger, you have you see things very differently. And after that, I realized that Saturnus it's more underground than I thought. So very down to earth guys. And when the first riffs started to pop out for this new album. I thought at first, Thomas should sing on this particular part because it's totally Saturnus.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear. I couldn't hear this part with any other vocalist, with any other growls.
Yeah, no, and I agree. That's why I was saying like it was almost like a kindred spirit kind of thing. You could just feel it like while the vocals were going. Like you guys had to love early Saturnus because it meshed so well. I want to talk about the visual video you guys just did because I luckily enough got to see it before this interview. It's really impressive. Like, do you feel that that kind of presentation for the band right now is really the only way to be able to kind of emotionally and visually get people to feel the music as well? Because I know you can't really, most people can't tour or play live right now and kind of get the vibe. Do you feel more of these visual videos and more of these like, unattended live shows that people are doing? Do you feel like this is the way to get to a new audience because people are jumping on YouTube left and right to watch live shows or watch things that bands are creating that they probably never did before?
You want to answer, Davide? You're muted, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're not in the same room, of course. Is in the Netherlands, actually, where he lives. So, we don't know. We haven't prepared who answers what. So,
Good.
Okay. The visual aspect has always been a part of Shores of Null. Since the first album, we've always paid much attention to that aspect. So we've always released videos that were well produced because we want to have this connection between our music and the visual aspect. Luckily, we have a friend we work in close relationship, which is Martina. And she is the head of Sanda Movies. They've done all our videos. So we weren't sure about what to do with this album. We released some trailers with the guests in the studio, and also, but we didn't know if we wanted to have a video for the song because it's being a nearly 40-minute song, maybe was too much. We thought, okay, maybe let's do a video for a chunk of the song, but then as you said, it's a particular moments in time where live shows are not happening, and I think that giving a video content, even a longer one, could be a good thing for the band. And so we managed to assemble to film this new video. We like to call it visualizer because it will be a very, very slow. That there's a story, but it's a whole experience. And probably, I hope that people will enjoy the song even more when the video will come out, because it's a whole thing altogether. It's a bigger experience. We would also like to add the subtitles that you can choose from YouTube, maybe also in Italian and English, so people can really have a better experience and understand more what the album is about.
Yeah, because also many feedbacks that we received since the album came out mention how listening to the album, which is already a very long song, together with the lyrics, adds something to the experience. So if we put the music, we put the lyrical aspect and we put the image all together for 40 minutes, that could really be something that is a little bit more of music, a little bit more of lyric, and a little bit more of a visual. So it's the three things adapt to more than their respective parts. I don't know if I explained it too well, but
that's great.
Basically we thought it would be a bigger experience than the single parts that compose it. Yeah.
It does. It plays a really bigger role. Like while I watched it while listening, it gave a deeper feeling to it, and I love the visual side of things too. I want to talk a little bit about the album cover too because it is so minimalist and stark. It reminds me of another band that is probably my favorite doom band of all time, which is a band called DeLorean. And it just reminds me of their White record. And it's because they do this, they do a very similar thing to what you do. They add atmosphere, doom, black metal, and melody together, which is a very rare thing. So when you said you don't feel that you may have bands that are very similar to you, I think you and DeLorean may be the two closest bands I've ever heard overall on the three records I've heard from them. I kind of wanted to ask the album artwork itself, is it very much personal to the lyrics and the thought of the album, or was it just something that you saw and realized, hey, this will work with what's going on? Kind of talk a little bit about that.
Well, talking about DeLorean, I only have one album from them. It's When All the Laughter Has Gone.
Sure.
So I don't know them too well. I only have that album. They have this dissonant riffs. Like, I know what you mean. I gotcha. Talking about the album cover, the guys in the band know that I've been pushing to work with this artist for a long time. She's a photographer. Her name is Sabrina Caramanico, and she lives in my region. I mean, we're literally like 40 minutes away by car. So I got to see some of her exhibitions, and I got to know her and her work. So I told the other guys, I would like to work with this artist in particular for the next album and maybe the next one as well, because she really captures the inquietude and the somberness of what our music is about. And so I sent them a few pictures, a few works of her, and among all them, they all said, "Hey, this one is totally cool," and it was the cover. So at the beginning, it wasn't that image wasn't supposed to be the album cover. It was just an idea to ask the guys, "Hey, do you like this artist? Because I would like to work with her." And this is what she does. And we said, okay, all the work is amazing, but especially this picture. So I basically told her, do some pictures for the new album. We would like a work. I gave her the lyrics and the song, etc. So let's work a bit on that, and we'd like to choose a new photograph from you. But then it was already February, March, and we went on lockdown, so it was hard for her to go out and take pictures, because we also wanted something about nature and all that kind of stuff. And so in the end, we decided, okay, why would we need a new picture if we love this picture so much? And so we picked that, and And we did literally almost nothing to the picture. It was already like that. I think we just mirrored the trees, something like that.
Yeah, we mirrored the trees. Yeah.
But
it's basically as it was.
Yeah, it was just the other way around, but we just mirrored them. There's a reason behind that. You see the trees, the branches, they start very solid, and then they fade. So there's a reason behind that, because the album is about the 5 stages of grief and the acceptance of death. So that fading, it's like fading disappearing in the glow, in the white, and also the reason of the color. It's because normally death and the doomy things, somber things, they're always pictured with dark colors, and we wanted to do the opposite and give it a brighter look. Also because in this special, especially in this album, we depict death as not as the end of all things, but it's all about the acceptance of death from the dying people, from the dying person perspective. So that white color symbolizes death.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I remember that one of the first conversations we had about what to do with the cover artwork. We said, okay, this album is so different from what we usually do. We also want to transmit that message to the listener even before it listens to the album. So we want a very different cover artwork from the beginning. So as soon as you see it, you have the impression that you are seeing something different from usual. And when you listen to it, you also can tell that musically it's different from what we did with the very first 2 albums. And yeah, we as Davide said, we wanted some new pictures from this photographer, but in the end, we all liked that picture so much, and it was completely fitting our idea even before seeing that. So that came out, I think, perfectly in the end.
Nice.
Yeah, and within the artwork, there are other pictures of her. They always have the same theme, so they all have snow, and so we really like that. So all the packaging. We did 5 different vinyl variants, and they're all they're from the black color to the white color. So it's also fade to white kind of experience. And each variant represents one of the stages of grief. So it's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Acceptance, of course, is the white vinyl.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. So that kind of brings me into the next thing I was going to talk about without even realizing you kind of walked into it with me. But digital versus analog. There is a big school of fans that will only listen to things online and digital. I'm an old man, all right? I'm just going to tell you right now, I miss the days of going to a record store, picking up a record, and sometimes buying it just because the goddamn album cover just made me want to buy it. Okay, I don't even know what the band sounds like. Are you a fan of both those genres, or do you typically stick towards more purchasing music or listening to digital? Because I get that digital is a convenience. It's for me too. It's on my phone. I can go anywhere and listen to it anywhere. But if I can literally sit down, look at a vinyl record, listen to it, read the liner notes, that's an experience for me. I kind of just want to take it from the band side. Like, how do you guys feel on both sides of it?
I'm maybe kind of in the middle, meaning that obviously, as you said, digital is very convenient. So I'm working at my laptop, I have to open YouTube or Spotify. I don't put the record on usually. That's what I do. But for the music that I really like, I always buy CD or vinyl, always, because as you said, I think they are such beautiful objects. There is a lot of work behind. I know playing in a band and planning these things that there is a lot of work and a lot of passion behind deciding the artwork, as we discussed now, all the meaning of the artwork, reading the lyrics. So yeah, for the albums and the band that I really like, I usually buy the physical version, also because it's support for the band. The nowadays it's most of the support a band gets financially is from the albums. So I really like to do it this way. But yeah, in the end, when I have to really listen to music during the day, obviously it's digital because it's so much more accessible.
Yeah, I'm also in the middle. I have a Spotify premium account because I think it's really fast and easy to discover new bands with all the related. For example, I didn't know some of the bands that were related to Shores of Null, and we all went to check them out. And I found out a band that I really love, which is Rapture from Finland. I didn't know them. Although I love all that stuff coming from Finland and Scandinavia, late 90s, early 2000, I'm a big fan of Sentenced, Amorphis, and Catatonia. I found out about them thanks to Spotify. So I'm not saying that Spotify is the bad guy in the music industry nowadays, but I still buy records, and that's the reason why also. Why I started a label, because I wanted to put out some records, and being a fan, I know that they have to look good and the music has to be good. And unfortunately, with Shores of Now, our previous label didn't put the albums on vinyl. Didn't put out the albums on vinyl, so we just released CDs. And we really wanted vinyl, so that's why probably we exaggerated on this one, like with the 5 colors and everything, because now we have full control and we can do that.
And also, they actually do really good vinyls. Yes. Nowadays, right? So they are basically selling as much as CDs. So.
Yeah, for some genres even more. I would say Shores of Null is 50-50, but some other bands like maybe more psychedelic stuff. They don't really buy CDs. Right. They having a label. I know that people nowadays buy more vinyls, and also going to record fairs and distros at shows, festivals. Vinyls is the thing that everyone wants now. As a kid, I used to buy lots of CDs. As you said, 18 years old, 16 years old, I used to go to the record stores and the metal sections. Okay, this artwork is amazing. I just bought it. Maybe I had the possibility to buy one record a month. Something like that, but that means that record you really, really consumed it, like reading the lyrics and listening to it. I have records of those days that I sometimes they can't be played properly for all the times I listen to them. I miss a little bit of that because now you listen to music when you do other stuff. It's hard to find a moment in the day where you take 1 hour and you only listen to music without any other distractions. I miss that. I try to do from time to time, but it's really hard.
No, I totally get it. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I miss the days where I used to get paper fanzines and would have no idea other than the words that said what the bands were like. And then I'd go to a mail order. Like there was a mail order in the US called Redstream, and they were just amazing. And they got all the imports in, and I would just watch the tracking waiting for it to show up so I could have that day to listen to music. And your album kind of gives me that vibe. Like you have to sit down and listen to it. It's not digestible in 3 minutes. And I like that. Like I like that it's a 38-minute like event, like that you have to sit down. Like if you listen to part of it, you're missing. And that's really one of the things I wanted to say about this record in special is you've given me that vibe again. Like I will not sit down and listen to 5 minutes of it. Like if I'm gonna listen to the New Shores of Null, I sit down and I listen to the full 38 minutes. Like because there are parts, especially in the record, that like I just love. And I love the female and male vocal interplay, and I love when the piano lines start coming in, and like there's moments I wait for on the record. So thank you very much for making an album and not just a 3-minute song, because too many bands today do that, and it really is a refreshing kind of feeling to get a record like that.
Thank you.
Oh no, you're very, very welcome.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, we hoped that people would feel that way about the album, because we know that the attention span right now in the current world, it's very limited, and people even in a 3-minute song, if you see the statistics, people listen to the first 30 minutes. That's why when you
30 seconds,
30 seconds, sorry, 30 seconds. When you place an ad on Facebook, it's also on Instagram or whatever, they have to be short, like 20 seconds, even less. A story on Instagram is 15 seconds. So you have to catch the attention in those seconds. So doing a 38-minute album, it's going the opposite direction. It's making a statement, and you have to find people that are into it. So probably the people that don't have the right amount of attention will skip this album. So we will get rid of the people that are not good enough for this album.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're going. So I kind of want to ask you, and I kind of want to go back to what you were saying is, so do you have another complete record ready to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
So a regular one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Is it very different musically or stylistically to this, or is it kind of in a similar fashion?
It's probably continuing the evolution of the previous two albums, because it's also in that order that we wrote them. The album that will come up as fourth album, it's been written as the third album.
Gotcha.
So it's following that evolution. It's in that style. Maybe I'm not sure, but maybe things are in the first album, everything was really catchy, and the songs, we had like 3 minutes and 30 seconds songs and things like that. So it's a little bit easier. Black Drapes for Tomorrow, a little bit darker and a little bit maybe complicated. It needs a couple of more listenings to really grasp, and maybe this is going in this same direction. So it's still a little bit more complicated than the previous one, but this is just my impression. So it's totally personal.
Yeah, Beyond the Shores, let's consider it a detour.
Okay.
From our course, our path. It doesn't mean that we will abandon that influence. I mean, on this album, we decided to enhance. You say enhance, right? So to pick that part, that darker and gloomier and slower, dramatic part, make it into an album. So that aspect has always been present in every album, but yeah, not from start to finish.
Gotcha.
So with this album, we decided, okay, let's go slower. Let's do a more dramatic album.
Sure.
But I'm saying that in a way that it looks like we sat down and decided, okay, we have to do a Doom album. It's not like that. It was very natural. But yeah, we enhanced one part of our sound.
Sure. Awesome. Very cool. So I only have one question left, but I wanted to say thank you very much for doing this with me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Love the band, love the music. Glad that I got some time to actually sit down and really speak about music with you guys, because it was an absolute pleasure. But the last question I have, I do it with every band, and I just want to see what your thoughts are. So if you could have any one artist take your music and make it their own, who would it be and why? And I want it from each one of you. I know, like, I always get that look.
It's very hard. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, pick one artist. I don't care if they're living, dead. I don't care if they're rock. I don't care if they're pop. I don't care if they're electronic music. Just pick somebody that you think would be really interesting interpreting your music.
I need some time for that. Let me think. Even very different from us, or does it have to be?
It can be polar opposites. I don't care.
Okay. Let me think.
I keep thinking about it. I think I have the band.
Go on.
Maybe Typo Negative.
Nice.
Because of course they are a big influence to me, and you can hear some parts, especially on this album, that are reminiscent of Typo Negative, I think. But they have a whole concept of sound that make them stand out from the rest. So the guitar sound is totally. There's no other band that sound like them. The vocals, there's no other band that can reach those lows. So yeah, cool. I'm pretty sure that my choice is right.
That's nice.
Okay. I was thinking about something maybe acoustic / more folkloristic. So something like, to say, the second album of Ulver, Kveldsanger, something in that style. So if Ulver were playing still those kind of music, those kind of albums, composing those kind of albums, that would be my choice. Or something like that Imperium do, for example, from time to time, those style or acoustic folk parts. I think that would be really cool. We played some acoustic shows in the past, and it was nice. I think it was cool to see the tracks reinterpreted in that way. But that was an experiment. We are not the kind of band that plays acoustic and composes thinking about acoustic songs. So it will be interesting to see some of those bands that do that pick up maybe a couple of songs of us and see what comes out.
Yeah, I could hear both sides of what you just did. There's definitely Typo Negative, especially with the way the guitars and Pete Steele's voices. That would be really awesome. And then that folky kind of almost black metal-ish overside would be really cool to hear. Another band I would just like, now you kind of just had my mind blown for a second, is Tenhai, another band. I think that would be really awesome to be able to work with you guys, because they remind me of a doom metal band that's unplugged.
Tenhai is a Finnish band. I really love them. Also, one of the influences for the first riffs of Beyond the Shores came out from Kawan
Oh, nice.
Raffaele, our guitarist, was listening to Cowan a lot during that time, and so he said in an interview already. So
That's cool though.
I can't repeat it. Yeah, Cowan, also Tenai or Ten. I didn't understand because I called him Tenny. I don't know how the pronunciation is because it's not.
Yeah, it's Finnish. I'm not even gonna be.
I think Finnish always pronounce things the way it's written for us. I mean, for us Italians, so it should be Tenny, but I'm not sure.
Awesome, but yeah,
very atmospheric. I love them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So again, guys, I will make sure that there are links to your label, to ways to be able to get to the Bandcamp sites and be able to talk with you. It has been an absolute pleasure again. If you ever do come to the US, please let me know. I would love to be able to hang out, watch some music, and talk about music because obviously we are very like-minded people in our musical tastes, so that's a good thing. If you have anything that you want to close this interview with, please, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much. I think we didn't mention all the guests that are on this album. We said there's Thomas from Saturnus, but also Mikko Kotamaki from Swallow the Sun. It's also another big influence for us. And yeah, when I contacted him and he accepted, it was a second dream come true for me. And then the female vocalist is Elisabetta from an Italian band called Inno. And there are other guests on violins and piano. There's Martina, the girl who's working on our videos, also did some screaming vocals. So it's collaborative effort. And we like it because we wanted to be wanted it to be a choral experiment. So yeah, I just wanted to thank all the guests and let people know that they're not just in some small parts of the song, but they really worked to make the song what it is.
Awesome. That's great. Matei, you got anything to close on?
Yeah, no, thank you very much for your time. It's been a great time. And yeah, I'm not sure when the video is gonna be uploaded, but I just wanted to remind everyone that we are having our visualizer or our video, how you wanna call it, coming out. There's gonna be a YouTube premiere on the 7th of December at 9 p.m. Central Eastern Time. So we are gonna be hanging there with everyone, and we are gonna watch this video together. So
very cool.
Yeah, but maybe it already came out, so I'm not sure of the time. But anyway, you can go check it out. It's gonna be on our YouTube channel anyway.
Absolutely.
And yeah, for you Americans, it would be some time in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Are you like 7 hours? Behind?
Yeah, so it's right around noon my time. With what is it, around 8 p.m. yours right now?
Yeah, it's 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's a 7-hour time difference.
Okay, so the video is coming out at 9 Central Eastern Time, so it would be 1 for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool.
But again,
of course,
guys,
the video, if you can't catch the premiere, would be there forever. So, and I would really love people to sit down on the couch and watch the video like they would watch a TV show or something, because you really need to watch the whole 40 minutes. That's how it is. It was thought. So
good. All right. Again, thank you so very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. I got David and Matteo from Shores of Null, Clint from The Doorway too. I'll see you guys. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.